Oh yeah, absolutely made up. Been a St.Helens fan all my life and used to go watching them at Knowsley Road, so just secured, some more time here and be playing here with the quality of players I'm made up. I'm over the moon.
Talk us through your thought process when the chairman comes to you with an offer like that. Do you bite his hand off, or do you have a good think about it? How does that whole process work out?
Obviously 4 years is a reasonably long time and you have a little think about it for a little bit, but generally you know what you're going to do and kind of thing. And as I say, it was more than happy to resign. Well, I ended up then, it was quite a funny story to be honest, the way it worked out. I was speaking and then I tweaked my hamstring last year and it became a massively frustrating time for me, and I said, can I concentrate more back just to getting back on the field and not have to think about anything else playing. And then pre-season I've got back in touch with him and said, hopefully you still want me. So if you do, can we talk again? And he said, yeah, sweet, no worries. So they were really understanding of the frustrating time I was having last year.
As you mentioned, the frustrating time you had and a few tough times as well with Saints in recent years. What is it about this club that you love, that you enjoy most and that kind of encourage you to sign on that dotted line?
Well, obviously, the history and just generally supporting them. To be honest, just been brought up on it and never really been brought up, supporting a football team or anything. It's always been rugby with my family, and there's that. And then it's the lads that are in the team, the quality in the team. But then not just that, it's the the friends that you make here. They're not just teammates; they're your best mates off the field as well. So it's at the end of the day, it's a no-brainer to re-sign the club you love, playing with the lads that are your best mates.
It seems like a club very much on the up as well. As Eamonn touched on, a brand new state-of-the-art stadium. You look at the top table there, the names, the ages of the people as well that have signed contracts recently as well. That must give you real hope for the future that this club can go on to successful times, I suppose.
Well, definitely. With the ages, it gives it. It's exciting times. I think a big one for me is now playing at fullback with Tommy Makinson on one wing and Adam Swift on one wing. Adam Swift's just signed a 4-year deal as well, I think, and Tommy signed one last year. So we're going to be around each other for the foreseeable future, and as I say, we're really good mates off the field as well, and hopefully that'll carry on. The more we play together, it might not last, that friendship, but hopefully it will. I've no doubt it will, really. But so to be playing with your mates and that excitement with the young lads, and young lads. I'm 23, but the younger lads coming under that, they keep you on your toes because they're pushing for your position and they look the part at the minute.
And some big shoes to fill. You've got that number 1 jersey off Paul Wellens this year. What a legend he was first and foremost. And then do you look forward to challenging yourself to kind of live up to the kind of things he achieved in his career?
You did half of it, you'd be happy, really, wouldn't you? The amount of winners' medals he's won and the personal accolades he's won. There's no doubt it's a bit of pressure, but Wello's been great about it, and he gave me pretty much his blessing to taking over the number 1 straight away. And any little problems or any little queries I have, I can go straight to him. He's really approachable, and he's in it for the best of the club, and he'll look after you if you've got a problem.
Yeah, I think as a club we're progressing very nicely. I think you have to listen to the chairman and feel his enthusiasm for the way that we're moving forward. Someone who's in Eamonn's case been at the club for a good number of years now, and oversaw the transition into a new stadium and saw the squad kind of develop. And I think we as players, we certainly share the chairman's optimism, not only for St.Helens Rugby Club, but for British Rugby League in general.
So would you say Saints are one of the ideal models for how a rugby club should be run this day and age?
Yeah, I think so. Like I say, a debt-free stadium, the revenue you create is your own. I think that is the ideal model, and we've come a long way as a town and as a rugby club in recent years, and it's very pleasing, and certainly it's a big attraction to a lot of players.
Eamonn gave a bit of beating chest of a speech there to how the sport of rugby league is in rude health at the moment. Would you kind of go along with him in what he said there?
Yes, certainly. I think because, I mean, you've got to look at the facts is that we nearly lost three or four clubs over the last 12, 18 months, and as a game that's just not sustainable. We have to move forward. I think in the new deals that's been created, we have the opportunity to do that. I think as players we would love the salary cap to go up by so many million tomorrow if that was the case, but that's just not tangible at the moment. What we need to do as a game is progress slowly, and hopefully then we've got a game that will last us hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's financially viable.
I guess when people point at the likes of Sam Burgess and Sam Tompkins who have gone elsewhere to earn the big money, a club like St.Helens, when they assemble a top table like that with the likes of James Roby and Jonny Lomax, who's penned a new long-term contract at the club, that's again shows a different side to the argument, I suppose.
Yes, certainly. I mean, there always are different sides, and I think you're never going to stop players wanting to go and try something else elsewhere in the Sam Tompkins or Sam Burgess' case, and you have to admire that, and fair enough. But what shouldn't be lost is that actually we as a game over here, we have the ability and we have the opportunity to retain a lot of our best talent, and that's no more evidence in our recent signings of James Roby and Jonny Lomax.
It is, yeah, kind of really a key signing for St Helens and for the game, the British game and Super League. Jonny Lomax is, I think, already one of the top players in the game. He's still very much at the beginning of his career at the age of 23, even though he's had 100 appearances for the club to date. But he changed the fullback halfway through last season, as we all know, and we really think he's at the beginning of a great career in that position. So to have him locked up for the club for 4 years is great as far as we're concerned. It's great as far as he's concerned. His ambition in life is to be a St Helens legend, and he's more than capable of becoming one. And it's I think it's great for the game generally, and certainly a ringing endorsement to all the positive news that we've been privileged to be recipients of in recent months, with a great World Cup, brilliantly delivered, profitable. The announcement of an exciting new league structure from 2015 onwards, big sponsors coming in centrally for Super League, and a fabulous new TV deal with a 63% uplift from which everybody benefits very material indeed.
You sat there on the top table with a string of recent re-signings. How positive is that for the club? Going forward, do you think?
It is. It's as I say, particularly with the background of the financial stability that's been brought to the game very recently. It puts you in a much stronger position to plan long term, to lock players in with confidence long term. And on the other side of the coin, the players themselves recognise that. They know if the game is in a financially strong position, then they're much more ready to commit their careers and their lives to it. And today is a ringing endorsement of that.
So coming off the back of there has been a little bit of negativity towards Super League as a whole of late. But from your point of view, very much comfortable with where St Helens are and are going, and positive about the future.
I think that's an understatement, comfortable. I mean, I sit here today in a brand new 21st century stadium owned outright by the club without a penny in debt, having all our long-term revenue streams locked in, particularly through the TV deal, being able to retain all our best talent. I don't see how anybody cannot be confident in the extreme about the future of the game unless you don't want to be.
And I guess I guess you hope what's gone on in terms of the TV deal, the sponsorship announcements, but you must hope that more clubs, some of the clubs who have perhaps struggled in recent years, managed to put themselves on a similar or as close to footing as yourselves.
Yes, I mean that's there for all clubs now, as long as the game and individual clubs are prudent about how the new resources are spent. The last thing we should do is kind of increase salary cap by material amount, because what this does is make clubs solvent. That has to be maintained. But it gives us the ability to re-engineer the salary cap somewhat, whereby we can retain the best talent, whether it be British or the odd sprinkling of overseas stardust. But the main thing is, as I say, the clubs have been clamouring for months, if not years, for the salary cap to be covered by TV monies, and it has been. So your principal outgoing is covered. And if you can't run a business with that already underneath your belt, then you have to look at the club individually rather than at the game, because the game has provided clubs with a great platform for success.
And imperative, you know, we're almost on the eve, well, we are on the eve of a new Super League season now. Imperative that, you know, there is more positivity about the sport. You know, if we're negative going into a new season, you know, kind of.
Yeah, well, it's the hardest thing to change in life is people's attitude, and I think rugby league has been its own biggest enemy in some ways throughout its history. That success is ignored, and people look for fault, whether it's there or not. You've got to be realistic. If there are weaknesses, they've got to be addressed. But at this point in time, certainly I've been a major investor in St Helens for 15 years, the chairman for 13, and I've never been more satisfied and more confident than I am at this point in time. And how can anyone not be?